Social media has turned sneaker collecting into a measuring contest. And honestly, we don't need to see how big your rooster is, Richard. You can keep that information to yourself. The sneakers don't really validify your personality at all, but for some reason nowadays in this modern era, you guys have turned sneakers into a statement of your personality. And the digital era has made it so much harder just to be a simple sneakerhead who likes to collect shoes. Back in the day, you could own maybe 3 or 4 Jordans. You can go around calling yourself a sneakerhead. You don't want to know why? Because people could tell by the way you dress you appreciate your sneakers. But in this modern era of sneaker collecting, you need to have the largest collection ever. When I tell you, I go all over Instagram, TikTok, and I see people with so many large collections that they can't even keep track of. Nowadays, you need apps to figure out where your sneakers are in your closet. That is down bad ridiculous. It's greed, it's consumerism. Social media has turned us into the most greedy, hungry people in the universe, bro. We're always looking towards that next sneaker release. 2024 is so boring that we have to look at 2025 sneaker releases just to make sense of all this, guys. Come on, we're always looking a year ahead, and that's terrible. That's not good for our culture, guys. We don't know how to live in the now and appreciate things that are currently right in front of us. We're so consumed about what's next, what's going forward, what's happening. Oh my God, how can I get my hands on the next Jordan 4? Panda Dunks are so trash. You guys don't have an original thought in your body, bro. So this is the modern sneaker lifestyle, right? So you go out, you see what's releasing, go on the sneakers app, you take a gamble to see if you're gonna get the sneaker or not. You spend $200 on the sneaker, you might wear it on your feet 1 or 2 times, and then it sits in a plastic container. If you're a content creator, you'll pull out that sneaker every once in a while for a live stream or to do a review or just to talk about it. But then after that, it never touches sunlight nor grass ever again, like most of you people. Because you see, in the social media era, hype is more important than wearability. It's the ability to say, I have something that you don't, and that makes me feel good about myself. That's why a lot of the social media sneakerheads hate reps so much, because it stops people from being able to say, I have something super exclusive. You guys have found a way to hack the system. And yes, the popularity of reps is also a product of social media, but it's this personality problem that I see on both sides of the spectrum that really make the game so confusing. Why does everything have to be some type of stamp of value for you people? I don't understand. Can we just wear the sneakers, rock the sneakers, learn how to wear the sneakers, and call it a day? And you know who wins the most off of your greed and your inability just to love? It's the resellers, guys. They know that you guys are always wanting something new, because guess what? Your feed is boring if you keep seeing the same 4 sneakers over and over again. So we always have to keep coming with new releases over and over again. And you also want to fit in with the hype sneaker. So you're going to buy things that are just popular, that are schematic. And that's what the resellers win off of, bro. They win off the fact that you need to have a couple of Jordan 4s in your collection. They're starting to realize that New Balance is the next thing. So they're going to sell those back to you too. It's part of the fashion culture, guys. Yes, trends are made to be profited on. Those who peep trends win early on, and those who follow trends suffer. And we're in an era where following seems to be the norm. And that's the problem. Followers have no true opinion. And some sneakerheads are so opinionated nowadays. Oftentimes, when I go on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, I see the same regurgitated opinions about sneakers. This is going to be sneaker of the year. This is the most comfortable shoe. Many people are very afraid to critique the culture and the products for what they are. Some people really don't have the gall in them to say, hey, this sneaker sucks. Don't spend your money on it. It is so hard to get a really objective viewpoint of a sneaker nowadays, because so many people have sunken cost fallacy. The idea that they spent money on something, therefore it's hard for them to critique it. And hell, I'd be like that too. Imagine spending $60,000 on a Tesla, bro. You're not going to trash talk the Tesla because you invested so much money into it. It has to recoup its benefits. Many content creators are afraid to tell you the truth. Most sneaker review videos are just purchase validation. It's their way of making themselves feel good about spending all that money on a shoe. And this is something I really see on sneaker TikTok. This gatekeeping culture, like there's a rule set on how to be a sneakerhead. You have to have certain opinions about certain shoes in order to fit into the culture. God forbid you say something bad about a sneaker and critique it like I do 24/7. Don't you understand that, like, that's how you kind of create conversation and spark an idea? by being divisive, by being a devil's advocate, by critiquing things and having a true opinion. Most people don't want to hear the negative aspects of sneaker culture. Most people don't want to hear the fact that reps are on the rise. Most people don't want to hear the fact that resale is currently harming the culture in a lot of ways. But since we're under this social media umbrella, and the likes and the comments are nice ways to put band-aids on a lot of wounds inside the culture, it's almost like this little cover up for the way things really are. Imagine like that perfect family picture that sits on the dining table when behind closed doors, mom and dad are about to get a divorce, the family is just falling apart. You know what I'm trying to say? Social media allows things to look a lot better than what they actually are, and it stops us from really looking deep into the culture and fixing a lot of the glaring issues that exist. We live in a very toxic, divided sneaker culture, guys. I really do blame social media for all of this because in this digital era, we don't have those in person connections like we once had. Like I said, the resellers thrive off of this digital era. So the fact that you don't really make in person transactions anymore, you don't really look your seller in the eye and really get to know them, their story. They don't really get to know you, your story, what you like, what you don't like. Oftentimes with apps on StockX, you don't even have the name of the person you're buying a sneaker from. It's just StockX. You're just constantly supporting this corporate conglomerate. When you spend money, you don't really have a way of connecting and giving back to something bigger. At least I feel like back in the day when you would go to local sneaker shops and you spend money, you would put your money back in the community, you'd watch a business grow, you would grow the business. They might give you a little discount here and there because you supported the business for so long. There's actually a growth. It was like we came together, we grew together, and it's like a tree that has spiraled out. But nowadays, with the lack of in-person interactions, people tend to forget that there's somebody else on the other side of that sneaker. There's a story behind every sneaker, whether it's a story about how the sneaker was created or it's a story about how you were drawn to the sneaker or certain memories you associate with the sneaker or certain things you envision with a sneaker. Everybody has a personal connection to this stuff. And I do feel like just the short nature of social media has stopped people from having the attention span wide enough to actually grasp the intricacies of these sneakers and what it means to be a true sneakerhead. Because being a sneakerhead is based off of love. It's based off of admiration. It isn't based off of how many sneakers you have in your collection or who can buy the most sneakers, who can sell the most sneakers, how expensive is your collection. It wasn't always based off of that. And I feel like in this short clickbait viral culture that we live in, a lot of people are just so focused off that hype, that value, just getting that screen off a sneakers app that says got 'em. People don't really think about the bigger picture when it comes to all this. Since we're so obsessed with these viral moments, since we're so obsessed with just capturing these little glimpses of happiness, we oftentimes don't look at the glaring problems that exist within our own culture and our own community and how to fix them. And that's starting to become a big nuisance to me personally. These social media era sneakerheads are very toxic for the culture. Unless we learn how to unify under one umbrella and combine the sneaker culture like it once was many years ago, this nation will always be divided. And I just want to bring about some type of healing to the culture before things get a little bit too late. We're getting so drifted to a point where people are just going to do whatever they can to get sneakers. You got the bots, you got the scalpers, you got the resellers. There's so many entities that you have to fight against. Not only that, but you have the negative opinions that exist as well, that this culture is on the verge of collapse unless we do something to save it, guys. Start doing what you can, connect with other people, and start realizing that social media is just a minor reflection of the reality that truly is.